Hey everybody, great to have you back here in the fish tank. Today we're going to go through the latest patch notes for Minion Masters. So we got a new update dropping today, it's version 2.23, and if I remind myself, it is called the Fur-midable Guardian. So as always, we're going to have a new Battle Pass. So just a quick look at what we've got in the Battle Pass. So this is going to be a Stoutheart themed Battle Pass. So we've got Urclaw, Protector of the Peaks, Bearavalanche as a spell, Berserker, of course, a strong range minion, Woodsman, bread and butter of those kind of decks, Frost Feathers, Frostberry Bearer. Also have some cosmetics, which if you're newer to the game, you're unlikely to have, and if you're experienced, unfortunately, you'll probably have most of them. But we've got the Devil Facepalm Puff emote, the Pink Power Setsu as a skin, we've got the King Puff emote, Grey Wolf Ravager as a legendary skin, another Ravager skin, Arctic Apex Ravager, and the Charge emote. And then we also, of course, have a Bearavalanche in an avatar. We have some copies of cards, legendaries, supreme rares, and commons, plus 3,500 gold, 38 power tokens, 475 shards, and more. Right, so that's the Battle Pass. But what about the the changes? Now, as always, we'll put a link in the description for these changes. This post is available on the Beta Dwarf blog, betadwarf.com, and of course on Steam. So version 2.23, Fur-midable Guardian. So there's a few interesting things to go through here. So the first thing, improving 2v2 match quality. So this is all about really trying to punish those people that are griefing your matches. So they say here we're expanding our efforts to investigate intentional disruption of 2v2 matches. So as mentioned, this is in 2v2 randoms, and this is where people are purposely leaving the game, purposely leaving the bot to play for them, purposely throwing mana away by playing badly or just throwing spells away, and basically just intentionally losing you the game. So just griefing. So what they say here is in upcoming patches we'll be introducing measures aimed at reducing the impact of players who intentionally disrupt the game experience. That's great to hear. Player reports remain one of our most effective tools for identifying these behaviours, and we appreciate everyone who takes the time to submit them. Okay, so reporting players for griefing and leaving does do stuff, and it will do more stuff. It will be more effective. So I want people to be aware that you can report players for this. So if you look after a match, you go to players, you find the player, you click on their name, it pops up the options, and one of them is report. So please be aware that exists, and please use it where appropriate. So hopefully we'll be able to punish those people, make it aware that it's not something you can do and get away scot-free, and then hopefully then people will learn that it's not something they can do, and they'll start behaving better, and it'll be better for everyone. So that's a good thing that's going to be coming soon, but start using those reports appropriately ASAP. Okay, we have some bug fixes. Fixed Arcane Barrage's indicator being too large. Fixed too many Legionnaires being summoned in the Gang of Deserters adventure. Fixed the camera in Mayhem sometimes being reversed. That's a big one. If you play Mayhem, and specifically if you play the Relics Mayhem, and I think it was triggered by one of the Space Marines relics, it would reverse the cameras for some reason. Never saw it happen to myself, but a lot of people mentioned it, and it's definitely been going on for a long time, so that's good. That's been fixed. And fixed a bug with the chat censoring apostrophe S's at the end of words. Tried that out, seems to be fixed. So some nice bug fixes to start with there. Okay, balance changes. Now remember, the balance changes are driven by the community. So if you want to get involved in the balance changes, join the Discord, find the balance section, have a look at the other suggestions that people have been made, give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down depending on what you think, or make your own suggestions if you think something's too strong or too weak. Right, so let's have a look. What do we have here? First of all, Mountain Gale. So this is going to be a buff to Mountain Gale. Maximum speed cap increased from 7 to 10. So that means that friendly units will travel quicker. So remember, this speeds up friendly units as well as healing, and it also slows down enemy units. Right, Scrat Horde. The amount summoned reduced from 10 to 9. I still think this is still going to be overperforming. It was already overperforming at 8. I don't know why it got buffed to 10, but it's down to 9. I saw someone complaining about it makes the formation kind of weird. I haven't seen it, but we'll see how that goes. This was another one. Morgul Ragers, they got buffed in the last patch. Again, it seemed like an insane buff. Their play rate went from nothing to everything, where you got 3 of them instead of 2. That's been reversed now, so you will get 2 of them, but they have Berserker's Rage, so they'll do basically double damage. Rocket Scrat gets a buff, now has a shield, so that means that it can do 3 jumps if it's not taking hits. First jump is consumed by the shield, second jump is consumed by the barrel shield, and then the third jump, it kills itself. So that's a buff to the Rocket Scrat. Jinglong, so this is a nerf. Delay between phasing out has been increased from 2.5 to 3 seconds. Remember, Jinglong, the little blue dragon, when you cast a spell, it disappears and then it comes back. And if you have a lot of spells and your opponent doesn't have a good way of dealing with it, you can do what we call the Jing Juggle, where you're basically just swapping it, and then it comes back and stuns over and over again. So now you can't do that quite as effectively. It's going to be there on the field for longer for your opponent to be able to shut it down. And if they don't shut it down, it's just less effective. Right, Blastmancer and Spiritmancer get the same treatment here. Health reduced from 170 to 150, so they'll still do what they did before, but they'll be more susceptible to spell removal. And the Blastmancer's definitely been very strong in the meta, so that will be felt. Fire Imp, this gets a buff in the term of Icebreaker. So Icebreaker is the keyword that already exists in the game. And that's where the damage is not... It's basically true damage to frozen targets. So both has that, I believe. So basically the Fire Amp will do true damage to frozen targets. So frozen targets normally take 50% damage reduction. That won't be the case with the Fire Imp. Right, next up we have the Aimbot. So this is a buff for the Aimbot. The Nats summoned have shield and marksmanship. So the Aimbot range will be increased for the Nats, and they'll have shield, so they'll be able to take more hits and be less susceptible to spells. And we have a wildcard reduction in the form of the Rockin' Roller. We saw some people playing 3 of them. It was a little bit too abusive, so they're limited to only 1 copy. Right, so that is the overall patch for 2.23 Fur-midable Guardian. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully you found this interesting. Let me know in the comments what do you think of these balance changes, and of course if you enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. It really does help. And if you're new to the videos here and you want to stay up to date with everything Minion Masters related, hit that subscribe button and turn that bell on, because you don't want to miss any of these awesome awkward waves.